Hello, everyone. Isaiah here with another episode of Let's Make Comics, and here we are again with another page of Genesis Blue. This might be the last one that I ended up recording. I'm not entirely sure, but I guess we'll find out next week. It's another one of those situations where I started working on things and didn't turn the recorder on, so you see that there's already a little bit of work that was done here on the scene. I like to have a lot of fun with expressions, and I wanted to make sure that since these guys were going to have sunglasses on, that their eyebrows are, in the case of the big guy, he doesn't have any eyebrows, so I guess it's just brow area, is very expressive. So this first henchman up here, I gave him very thick eyebrows to help out with that. And then, of course, the big guy has no eyebrows. He just has these kind of big lumps. And then the final guy has some thinner eyebrows, but I make sure to draw those above the sunglasses so that it helps with the expressions. And this is the henchman who always gets hurt in every single one of these scenes. If there's a henchman who needs to get hurt, it's gonna be this guy, and he's gotta be more bandaged up and scarred up as this issue goes along. And as I mentioned last time, that was just something that I did to have a little bit more fun when drawing these mooks. Just have my own little head canons about each and every one of them. I'm not sure if I talked about it much last time, but I put quite a bit of thought into what this dressing room area of the backstage of the bar for the performers would look like. This was supposed to be kind of like an older bar, so I wanted to make sure that there was a lot of like maybe brick in the background there, just to kind of. I always feel that brick kind of gives a sense of age. Um, I think it would probably have been nice to put a little bit of texture, like some cracks or whatnot, on there to really sell the age of this environment. I wonder if I ended up putting anything behind that door there. Sometimes you have to ask yourself whether or not that detail is important or if it's going to clutter up the shot. And it looks like I just moved on. And because each of these henchmen ended up being expressive in their own way and having their own little design, I think they ended up being really fun to draw, especially since they're all wearing kind of like the same uniform. I definitely wanted to make sure that some kind of personality came across, especially since the same three henchmen were going to show up again and again in this issue. So I wanted to feel like anytime they showed up, it's like, oh, it's these guys again. And so really wanted to make sure they had little bits of their own personality, even if the script didn't really call for that. This guy I had a blast with. He's always barking orders out, so a lot of scenes where his mouth is just really big as he's yelling out. There he is, kind of fixing his tie up. He's not going to be the guy getting his hands dirty. He wants to make sure that he always looks nice. He's probably like the villain's second cousin or something like that. He probably thinks he's a big shot when he's actually a small fry. At least that's how I think about it. I think the last episode I ended up talking a lot, so I didn't put any music in the background. Definitely going to be doing that this time around. And do you guys want new copyright-free music? I'll probably try to find something new this time so you guys don't listen to the same song over and over again. And I mentioned that I wanted to put a lot of brick in this background. I kind of wanted to make the floor this hardwood kind of thing, but I also put a little, I don't know what you call it, but I put a little wooden area on the walls there too, just to break up the pattern a bit so it's just not that brick pattern. You see it there. I'm not working on it at this moment, but that henchman's leg back there really bothered me a lot. Because I think when I was sketching it, his foot ended up behind his leg there, but when I look at it here, it just feels like his foot disappears. And I remember that bugging me a lot and me thinking I should fix this. But not sure if I ever went back to fix that. Didn't lines being what they are or not. I hope so, because that really bothers me looking at it right now. There we go again with the braids that I just found really obnoxious to draw. Over there in the first panel that we were working on, which is the last panel of the page, I did put a lot of motion in it. It's a shame that I didn't record me working on that. That would have been fun to see, but I kind of have them going every which way she's running away to add a bit of a chaotic motion there to make it feel as if it's this kind of desperate kind of run, not a very controlled run. And that's one situation where I think her hairstyle was really helpful for her. Here's Hurdy Hinchy here. His face has a lot of sharp lines, whereas the buff guy has this more square face, and then the big shot guy has rounder shapes in his face. And once again, that's just one of those things to get these three to be told apart from each other and just to make them all feel as if they are different people. I like his nose. His nose is very sharp too. Oh, it looks like I'm not going to fix that foot. No! Blair here with a very quizzical look on her face as she's eyeing that briefcase. Looking at this now, I kind of feel there are situations where I really should have used maybe some thicker lines. Looks like I tried to draw that one line freehand and just went back and used my tool for it. And of course, this is a dressing room, so there's going to be clothes hanging up in the background. And I think for that very first outfit there, I kind of thought about it a bit, but then the rest of them just kind of become these random cloth shapes. And there we have it here in this shot, finally, the magical microphone. Because this book here is called Genesis Blue and the Magical Microphone. I had a little fun designing that. I mentioned in the first episode that's featured in that when this story was pitched to me to work on, it was pitched as a black girl superhero, and then I read the script, and I really felt like this is kind of magical girl. In a sense, where we have a magical transforming type item. So I really wanted to put that magical girl kind of flair into the microphone there. So it's kind of jeweled and bedazzled there. Because of course, I'm thinking about like Sailor Moon's wand and other things like that. Yeah, I kind of feel here that Blair's head there should probably be using maybe some thicker lines to help break it up from the things that are a little further back from her, now that I'm looking at this in the future, like a year after I drew it. And also looking at this now, I kind of would have been fun to maybe put a glow kind of effect here in the case, give it that that Pulp Fiction suitcase or briefcase kind of vibe. Open it up, and it'll really help sell the magicalness of this item and just the wonder of this item that she's discovering. Hindsight. And I love drawing texture, little bits of texture like that on items, especially for something like a microphone. A microphone has a whole lot of texture on it, and I kind of felt that you don't really sell the item without having that texture. I think it's kind of part of the microphone identity, so I wanted to make sure that I drew it there. Oh boy, there goes those braids again. And here's another situation where she's kind of running away, and so I do play around with the motion there in the braids. I don't think nearly as much as I did in the last panel, which again is a shame that I forgot to turn on the recorder for that part. I'm noticing here on this page, and I had to go back a lot, but she's supposed to have bangles on, and I missed that detail here. And I remember before giving it to Jesse to color, there were a few pages where I did notice where I dropped that, and I went back and redrew them before submitting it, but there were still a handful of panels that I missed, and she let me know which ones I had to go fix. But now, at least for my own works, there are things that I tell myself that I don't want to put on characters anymore, because I always, well, not always, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but I will forget that a character wears them. One of those things is gloves. I remember in Transaltown, Alicia's brother, Lenny, was designed with gloves, and I don't remember if he ends up having them. Yeah, he ends up wearing them, but there were plenty of times where I forgot to put those gloves on. Earrings and other types of jewelry, bangles, bracelets, earrings, I already said that. But I'll very, very frequently forget to draw those. And there's a character in Transaltown right now, Veronica von Hellsong. She has earrings, and I forget to draw those a lot too, and I'll catch it. But I'm sure there are plenty of panels where I didn't. But there we go. That's the end of what we have here today. and I hope you guys enjoy it. You can actually see here on the finalized image that those bangles are there now. So yeah, I went back and fixed those. Never fixed that dude's foot there. How unfortunate. And it's also kind of unfortunate that in the fourth panel there, lots of feet get cut off, but maybe I was tired or something. I don't know. No excuses though. But this has been fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I'll check you guys out next week. Have a wonderful time.